Welcome into the Get Wise podcast with your host, and favorite commissioner, Roman, with his guest host today of Ian.
Hey, how's
Nice
it
to have
going,
you here.
guys?
I'm really excited. Awesome. Ian's on because he did a trade with Leo this week, and it was a big one. I was surprised it went through. I don't know how you felt about it.
I've got feelings for sure.
Got feelings. Okay. Well, first we're going to start off with going through last week 2 matchups. Did pretty well with that. Of course, my team didn't, but that's okay. We'll give Sarah a win every once in a while, but she's 2-0 right now, so she's doing a good job.
She's doing fine.
She's doing more than fine. I am not,
You're
but
not.
we'll figure that out soon. So first off, Boca Owls against Just Average. Of course, like I said, I lost. However, I did predict that. I had 76.5 points, and Sarah had 118. 76.5. Oof.
Yeah.
Next, Captain Jim. I called this as Roman's toss-up from last week, and it was more than a toss-up. It was 116 to 115 for James. Zach, could you hit that blind really quickly? Thank you. Sorry about that. 116 to 115. Booger Bears did end up taking the L by less than 1 point. Next game, NFL Youngboy lost to Travis's terrific team. 116. No, I apologize. 98 to 123. Good job, Travis. Great game for DeAndre Swift. I believe he had around 30 points. Next is Ian, of course. Do you remember the amount of points you had?
I'm looking at it right now. It's the highest this week of 137.
137 to whose? 131?
To John L's Peerless team.
Very good.
They were the highest scorers this week.
Yeah, both of you. So that's so unfortunate for Uncle John.
It is, and Williams paid off for me this week.
Oh yeah,
as did Tyreek. So
yeah, Tyreek with I think cool 36.
Yeah, just a cool 36.5.
Yeah. Wow. That's unfortunate, Uncle John, but you had a pretty good week. So the team's looking up. I believe you were carried by Nick Chubb, 33 or something like that.
He had a monster game.
Yeah, monster against that team. Finally, the Pretty Boys, Morgan against the Argos, 126, and the Argos, 102. I got 4 of those right. However, my toss-up was wrong. So I'll take 4.5. So now we must move on to the week in review of NFL news. And the biggest topic here is my starting quarterback is now out for at least 4 games, expected to be the rest of the season. Kyle Shanahan's number one quarterback, 3rd pick in the 2019-2020 draft, Trey Lance, is gone. I was a true believer in Trey Lance, but he is out, and I am shopping for a new quarterback. So anybody's real cheap right now, let me know. I picked up Justin Fields. Not sure how that's going to go. He's got less than 10 points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's going to be rough.
That's going to be for you.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. Currently 0-2, but it's looking up.
Yeah. Hey, there's a few teams starting 0-2 this week.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, okay, Bengals Nation. Let's ride.
It's going to be fine.
Next, Alvin Kamara coming back to practice. His ribs are feeling better, apparently. James is getting 2 of his players back as well with Jerry Jeudy. I believe that was his shoulder. Still, he's in practice and still going. So that's a really big help for James, even though he just lost last week. He's currently 1-1. I think, in my opinion, he's still the best team in the league. So we're going to review those rankings next week on the next week's podcast. Finally, the fun part. Mike Evans suspended for the 3rd week of NFL football. He cannot catch a break with Marshawn Lattimore.
Well, it's not even that. Like, the whole instigation is just reeks of.
It's so funny.
It reeks. I mean, that whole team is just ready to fight at any moment, and
it's scary for the Bucs.
Take the blame. Like,
yeah,
it's wild. It's wild to me. Did you watch the footage? Did you watch?
I saw a little bit.
man, oh man, it was not going to go well.
And the funny part is, the best part, he has the worst record against his
Oh,
worst record against any cornerback in the league. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, any of them.
yeah.
It's so much better than against Marshawn Lattimore. He cannot score against Marshawn Lattimore, can't get vertical, can't even hit a slant route on him.
No.
And the only time, it's pretty much a game check to push Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
He pretty much gave away $500,000 just to push a cornerback that he's terrible against. It's so funny.
It's wild to me. It's absolutely wild. And I don't know how to feel about it because I don't think he even started it, you know?
Oh, it was Tom Brady.
It was absolutely Tom Brady. And it's always
Tom
been
Brady.
Tom Brady. He's an absolute trash talker. What a nice
He totally is.
Yeah. And he's great at it, obviously.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't get there without being a great trash talker.
No, but it's sad that he has to lose Mike Evans over that.
Well, despite that, next week, if you have a Bucks player, I'm pretty sure the Argos have a lot of Bucks players. Not Mike Evans this week, however, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no Mike Evans this week. But Bucks players are looking up. I think, I don't know if I have Julio, but if someone has Julio, he might play this week. As well as that, there is Chris Godwin might come back, low chance. Russell Gage might be a really good start this week. So Tom Brady doesn't have many pass catchers, so it could be looking good.
Nope.
Finally, Michael Pittman could be back for week 3 with his quad injury. Pretty good. Leo, that'll be a really good pickup for you. So you need that going against, who is it? I believe you're going against Travis this week. No, you're going up against Sarah. Look out. She wins games. So going into the weekend for this week of football, we're going to quickly run through the games. Thursday night, Steelers, Browns. Who do you have?
I have Browns.
Me too.
I think they're hungry. I hate the Steelers.
He said Browns.
I have Browns. I think they're just all around a better team. And that's tough for me to say as we lost to them the first week as a Bengals fan. But
yeah,
the Browns are just a better team right now, in my opinion.
Right now, for sure. Their pass rush is really getting to the offensive line. They've been beating the Bengals O-line, said to be the most improved. Sorry. Yep. But they were killing it last week. Their run game's really on top of it. Yep. And apparently Amari Cooper can still catch balls even from Jacoby Brissett. So,
hey,
we'll take those. Bills, Dolphins, easy Bills for me. Even though the Dolphins are looking good, it's still an easy Bills. They seem like the best team ever right now.
I'll go Dolphins. I think they're going to be upsetting a lot of people this year, and I think they'll start early.
Okay.
Bills.
I mean, they seemed very mean in that last game. That was impressive. The comeback was real.
Never thought Tua would be this good. I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't know if I still do. We'll revisit that later in the, is it fire or smoke?
Sure.
But Bengals, Jets.
I think the Bengals take it. I think they fix a lot of problems. I do have a soft spot for the Jets because they took Uzama from us by hostile takeover, but replacing him with Hayden Hurst, assuming he's healthy this week, I think it's just going to be a great matchup.
Hayden Hurst is a really good tight end, so
he's
great.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's huge. Yeah. Anyways.
Came from the Ravens, went to the Falcons last year. I liked watching him. So he's really good.
Yeah.
It's Bengals for me too. Their offensive line shouldn't have as much pressure. They don't have any real pass rushers other than a D tackle they got a few years ago. But besides that,
we'll find out in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Joe Burrow is either going to get scared or he's going to be confident and hang out in the pocket. So we'll see. Could be a really big game for T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So we'll see. Raiders, Titans. Raiders. Titans looked so bad. It was the Bills, but they looked terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Raiders take this.
Raiders easy. Saints, Panthers. I'm going to go Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to figure it out, and the Saints have looked pretty bad the last 2 weeks, barely getting wins, even in division.
I'll go Saints.
Okay. Sorry, James. Ravens, Patriots. The problem I have here is Bill Belichick.
I know.
The number one option. Lamar could be rendered useless.
I think that the New England Belichicks take it. And also I need the Ravens to lose more in my division. So
okay, I'll go Ravens then. Hi Don. Hi. Then Lions Vikings. Sorry, that was my roommate.
I think the Vikings eke it.
Vikings.
Yeah.
The Lions have looked so good.
I know, but
it's so weird. It's so weird.
I don't trust
their
it.
offensive line is killing it. They got the double run game going with Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a menace. Jared Goff is throwing ropes. It's cool to watch, but they don't have any good enough corners to guard Justin Jefferson. So I agree. I'll have to go Vikings there.
I believe in Travis. I mean the Vikings.
Eagles, Manders. Eagles have looked so good.
Eagles, easy.
Eagles, nothing else to say. Chiefs, Colts. Colts look bad. Chiefs.
Chiefs are Chiefs.
Chiefs are Chiefs. Texans, Bears. That's probably the two worst teams you'll see all week.
I want to see the Bears win.
Okay, I can get down with that. My quarterback's there. Bears.
Yeah, I want you to have a terrible week for him, but I want to see the Bears win. Because we are forcing each other.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Jags, Chargers. This is you're thinking about
team.
this.
It's a good team. I think Chargers.
Yeah. Jags have looked pretty nice, though.
Yeah.
They have. Rams, Cardinals. Rams, Cardinals didn't deserve that last win.
Yeah, I think Rams take it.
Yeah.
Those
I believe
LA
that's in division as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Packers, Bucks. Packers, they both don't have any really receiving options this week. If Allen Lazard's back, he should have a pretty good fantasy output. But Packers,
I think
quarterbacks
take it.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks.
Actually, the worst matchup this week, Falcons and Seahawks.
Man, if they could both lose.
I would actually prefer to lose. I want CJ Stroud or Bryce Young so bad. So bad. We need a quarterback.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it to the Seahawks. I'm not rooting for either of those teams.
Oh, fair. I do think the Falcons will win, sadly. But as weird as that is, we've looked good against pretty solid teams.
Yeah.
Like the Saints, we almost won that, and the Rams, we almost won that. Fourth quarter leads, so of course you can never bank on those.
No, and I think there's a lot of weird early season things happening with people shuffling around and injuries that like you just can't tell how good a team is going to be at
for sure,
truly in the long run. Yeah,
Niners, Broncos.
Niners.
Okay, Russell Wilson, in my opinion, doesn't have it. They are going back to Jimmy Garoppolo, though.
I know. I'm really rooting for him.
He's a good-looking man.
So it's weird that they
Cowboys,
Giants. Didn't do that sooner, honestly. Cowboys, Giants.
That's the Monday night game.
I just, I want the Giants to win it. I don't want the Cowboys to win.
I don't want the Cowboys to win. America's team can keep losing, in my opinion. So
Agreed.
They didn't lose last week. Just to remind you.
We can talk about that. They should have, but they didn't.
They should have. Both teams deserved to lose last week.
Yeah, fair.
Yep. Okay. So now the reason that you are here, we're going to go over your trade talks. You and Leo did a trade for Ezekiel Elliott from your team to Leo's NFL Young Boys while giving up A.J. Dillon to you. So what was your thought process when you got that trade? And how do you feel about it after week 2?
When I got that trade, it came in after you had sent me a brief trade and then rescinded it because I didn't have time to even look at it that much.
Zach, can you close that door?
Yeah, Zach. So when it came through, I saw a quick swap for a running back that I felt would be a good pass catcher, and seeing Zeke in the first week, I wasn't too impressed, especially with what's his face taking a lot of his snaps already.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard looks good too.
He
looks strong. He's averaging more yards, at least last week, and I don't think that they'll knock Zeke off the number 1 back, but I think they will use him for early downs and use Pollard as the punch. So I still feel confident in the trade. I don't know if AJ Dillon is the guy, but I took a risk and I stand by it.
No, yeah. So Leo actually sent me this trade, a screenshot of this trade as soon as he sent it to you, or a few minutes later. Yeah. And I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So I was talking to him, texting in a text chain, and I got the notification, trade approved. I was like, you have to approve the trade. And I was like, no way, this went through. Zeke for AJ Dillon. And I was like, I mean, it makes sense. So I was on your side at the beginning. It's just such a big name like Zeke leaving a team is really crazy to think about. But I think you won it. AJ Dillon is in a pretty solid timeshare with Aaron Jones.
Yep.
He had 2 more opportunities than him last week, even after them saying that they wanted Aaron Jones more involved in their offense. So that's a good sign. You got it, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, it's Zeke's last year on the Cowboys.
I'm doing a podcast. Fantasy football. This is my roommate.
How many people are watching this, huh?
Nobody right now.
Oh, okay. Put a shirt on.
They will, though.
Yeah, of course, dude.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Then
College.
going into college. And Zeke had so currently Zeke has negative receiving yards. So that means Ian, you and I, we are currently averaging more receiving yards than a professional NFL player. Congratulations.
That is true. I feel very good about that.
Yes, exactly. Zeke is, in my opinion, washed up. He has been outside the top 40 both weeks. Hasn't finished there once. So drafting Zeke, I believe in the 5th round, 6th round, maybe even earlier, it's just not panning out. And Pollard's the running back inside the 20s. Really good vertical rusher. So scary to see
how it shakes out.
Exactly.
I mean, my initial drafting of Zeke was the idea that he would be leaving the Cowboys and he wanted to make a big showing in his last year there. But I just don't think he has it anymore, or the Cowboys don't have it to give him, you know?
Yeah, and he was injured all last year. I forget what it was. I believe it was a hip flexor injury that he was playing through toward the end. So,
yeah,
it's a lot.
Either
okay.
way.
Now we're going to go into some, is it smoke or is it fire? Anything else about that trade you want to talk about?
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Keep
it
coming, Leo. I'll take all your good players if you let me.
Very good. Okay. Starting out, we're going to go with the Booger Bears against John L's Peerless team. So I'll give you a chance to pull these matchups up if you'd like to take a look. But
yeah, go.
Yeah, no problem. But I would like to bring up James's team, the Booger Bears, of Austin Eckler against Jacksonville. Come on. That should be an absolute slam for Austin Eckler. As well as that, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pardon me. Needed that. Amon-Ra St. Brown's getting a test this week. Going up against a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. I believe it's the Vikings that we talked about earlier, correct?
I guess so.
Sorry.
You okay?
Talking a lot.
Gotta have that.
Mahomes against Indiana. Indianapolis, I apologize. So those are pretty good matchups. And then John O's Peerless team, Cooper Kupp against Arizona. That's really good. Nick Chubb against Pittsburgh. Good defense. They are out of TJ Watt at the moment. And he still is running that dual tight end with the flex of Pat Freiermuth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Booger Bears here. Not a dominant showing, but pretty heavily weighed over there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mahomes could have a monster game, though. He always has.
Always.
I mean,
it's always in his back pocket.
He's projected at 27 points in this league. Like, he's going to blow it out of the water again.
Yeah. Next, Captain Jim and the Pretty Boys, 1 and 2. So, Pretty Boys, Lamar Jackson against New England, Mr. Belichick, Joe Mixon against the Jets. That is what I wanted to bring up. Joe Mixon was my start of the week last week. He did not perform to what I was thinking.
No.
And I know, Morgan, it was the same opinion that you had. But and you as well, Ian. We all wanted Joe Mixon to go crazy last week.
We did.
But it didn't happen. It was, I believe, a 10-point outing, so it wasn't much. But against the Jets, that could be crazy.
Yeah, he could feast. He could really blow out here.
Yep. And the other thing is, if the Bengals get up to a high enough lead, he'll just be running it the whole time. Him and Samaje Perine just dual backfielding. The team is not very deep though for the Pretty Boys, so their flex, I believe, is Adam Thielen. He got his week saved with some 5 late catches against the 5 late catches just going on the field after being heavily guarded by Darius Slay. So it was pretty much nothing that he had all week until that final drive. Rakam Jib has Josh Allen against Miami. That's going to be a shootout. AJ Brown against Washington, and Derrick Henry after 2 straight weeks of 8 points.
Yeah, that'll be one to watch. I don't know. I definitely have Captain Jim taking this. Sorry, Pretty Boys, but I think there'll be some surprises. Kareem Hunt will probably absolutely destroy Pittsburgh once they wear him down. But Josh Allen is always a safe bet.
Yeah, always. Me as well. Next, just average versus pardon me. Oh, talking. NFL young boy. I'm so sorry.
You're okay, man.
NFL young boy. They have so many good matchups. However, the big one between each team, both the Bengals receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Against the Jets, come on.
Yeah, I guess the question is who's going to have more. And my gut reaction is Higgins will actually have more targets.
I was thinking the same thing.
Just by the way the offense is running and just because I pay attention to it enough.
Yeah, for sure. Makes sense. Depth of target is much lower for T. Higgins as well. So one burst play could get Chase, but I doubt it. I'm going just average. Next, Travis TT and Argos.
I mean, Travis takes it. Sorry,
okay.
Argos. Just a lot of good things going on his team right now, which call it foresight or call it luck. But he's just got a great team. A lot of explosive players in Waddle. Kyler Murray could have a great game, though possibly unlikely.
I totally agree. This is a easy blowout. Easy blowout for me. I'm sorry. You're missing Mike Evans right now, so
that's a huge part.
Wide receiver too. Then the matchup everyone's been waiting for, of course.
Of course.
Ian against Boca Owls, me. Ranked 6 Ian and 10 me. So, Ian, talk about your team for a sec. How do you feel about it this week?
I mean, I obviously hope that Burrow has fixed a lot of his issues with the O-line, and the O-line has fixed a lot of their issues with Burrow. And that is how I mean to say it. I think there's a lot of blame to be shifted. And if that's the case, I mean, I think I easily take you. You have McCaffrey, which is always a tantalizing player. But as far as I know, he hasn't performed as well as we've wanted him to. But he has a New Orleans, matchup, which could be good for him. But
maybe.
I Kirk had an explosive week last week. I may switch out Hawkinson for Hurst if he's healthy. There's a little bit of a groin injury on him, but I think I got you, bud. I think I got you. Assuming some issues are fixed with my quarterback.
I have the same standpoint. I think you win this game. As much as I need this win, I think you win. But I have bad running back matchups, and that's the center point of my team. I have 3 solid matchups: Justin Fields against Houston, Pitts against Seattle, and Sanders against Washington. Pitts has been not even a top 20 tight end so far in the season.
Yeah.
I think he only has 2 targets at the moment or something like that. But for a third pick in the NFL draft, you cannot be taking that. As well as this, I have Sanders against Washington. Sanders has been great so far. I'll take that. He's a running back 11 at the moment, and I think he'll do pretty good against Washington as well. I have him set as my running back 19 this week. And but Fields against Houston, it's just luck. So we'll see. And now moving on to the final part of the podcast this week. It's a longer one. The new category, is it smoke or is it fire? So we're 2 weeks into the season at the moment. And it's a now good point to check in, see if all these players that are performing amazing are going to stay that way, or is it smoke and not fire, and they will go back to their bad performance from last year, or they'll simmer down. So fire for if they're going to stay, or smoke if they're going to fizzle out and return back to reality. Mm-hmm. So the first team I want to bring up is Tua and the Dolphins offense, specifically their catching, because their running game has not been very special so far.
I think this is fire. It's hard for me to see a Dolphins team be good like this, but I think that they've made it work and will continue to do so. Tua's a young guy. He's got a lot ahead of him, and as long as he doesn't get hurt, he's fine.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I understand that viewpoint, and I know there's a lot of Tua fans in our league. I know my dad included. He loves Tua. I think he's had him every year he's been in the league. But I just can't. I can't hop on the Tua train. As good as he looked last week, he's very.
I want to be clear. Volatile. I am not on the Tua train. It's just hard to believe that this would fizzle out so quickly. You know.
Okay.
I see at least a winning season for the Dolphins.
For sure. I could argue that Jalen Waddle will finish higher than Tyreek Hill on the season.
I agree.
Okay.
Fortunately.
That's a very, very weird viewpoint to have, and I bet a lot of people will find that controversial, but he might. They paid a lot of money for Tyreek, but he just knows Jalen Waddle. Next, Jets offense with specifically Garrett Wilson coming back, or do we keep Joe Flacco on the field?
I think the Jets offense is smoke. My gut feeling is they eked out that win against the Browns. It wasn't pretty, and there's a lot of excitement around it, and I understand, but I don't see the function of that offense being a long-standing thing. You know, especially with the uncertainty that they're about to go through.
I totally agree. I think Breece Hall is still a smash play going in throughout the year, but Leo picked up Garrett Wilson as well, so I wanted to get him. He was one fab higher than me. I'm not bitter about it. I didn't need that player, but well, I think it's smoke as well. I don't think they'll last out the season as good as they've been doing at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, they've continued.
Yeah. Anything else?
Coaching issues. I don't trust it.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is fire. It is blazing. It is burning through the West. I think this is Amon-Ra St. Brown is the real deal. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
I agree. And with a good quarterback behind him, I think he'll continue to just put up top numbers.
He's doing awesome stuff. Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk. I know you have Christian Kirk. Now, as scared as I am to admit this, I believe it's fire. Christian Kirk is not a bad player.
Yeah.
They paid $53 million for him in $73 million in salary for him, I think, last year. And
wouldn't know.
They're making use to it. So
yeah, my points are great. So I think it'll last a while. I think they've really needed something like that, and they got it. Boy, oh boy, did they get it.
For sure. Washington pass offense. Why is Carson Wentz doing good? And the worst part is, I think it's fire.
I mean, back when he was on the Eagles, everybody was talking about how smart of a quarterback he was. And then, when he got hurt and then won a Super Bowl without him, he sort of got shoved to the wayside. But that guy always watches tape. Like, he watches tape like a fiend, apparently.
Okay.
He's super hard on himself. I think it could be great. Plus, one of my my graduating class in my high school is on the O line there, so I want to root for him. So I say fire.
Okay. I like that. I think the receiving options are just too good.
Yeah.
It's dirty over there. They got it working.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we'll go with Drake London for the Atlanta Falcons. Wide receiver, he had 20.8 points this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. So my thought process is Kyle Pitts, their third pick in the 2021 NFL draft, is just he's going to eventually get there. I hope he does. He's on my tight end. He's my tight end for my team.
He sure is.
But the two amazing big body receivers, I think it's going to split up and all those targets will be split. So I don't think it'll stay at that volume or even that volatility. But I think he's a great player, just not for fantasy.
Yeah, and I think with Mariota, right? It's Mariota.
Yep.
Starting. I would think with Mariota's fine, but he's not a top tier quarterback for him.
No.
There will be problems, I imagine, at some point.
Yeah, I got smoke on Drake London.
Same.
Yep. That is all I have for today. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Ian?
Yeah, I want to talk about your smack talk on McPherson. I just really can't stomach it. I think there was twice in the last podcast that you were like, sorry, McPherson drafters. The man had his kick blocked. He didn't even have his long snapper. That was the problem. They used the tight end to long snap.
Yeah.
So that game could have been very different if we had our long snapper, right?
Totally. Yeah.
It might have been a win. It wouldn't have been a good one.
No.
But
I do sympathize. I have lost many fourth quarter games.
Oh,
I can totally agree. More than anybody.
Yeah. I think there was a brief moment in an interview with Zach Taylor, and they're like, "Are you worried about Evan McPherson at all?" And he goes, "Nope." He just said no. He's like, "We're not worried about him." I mean, the guy he's got ice in his veins. He'll just continually step up and kick that ball. I mean, the first game of the season, he shot one from 59 yards like nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
It's disgusting,
He could be the next Justin Tucker.
I mean, yeah, and everybody want to be Evan McPherson. But anyways, that's my beef. I can't let you get away with it. So
I'm glad that you're able to come on, and we'll keep these going for the trades. It's cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. I hope everybody has a great day. Everybody sets their lineup for Thursday night when the Browns take on the Steelers. So you're probably not starting anybody other than Nick Chubb. So
looking at you, Argos.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right.
Okay. Bye, everybody.